we want to address in our 10-year innovation master plan. So how do we fix it in our context? We fix it in our context by exploring how we strengthen the knowledge economy, ideas finding commercial value. We strengthen the availability of resources for that agenda. We strengthen how we build a community of willing people and enabled people, and we increase knowledge commercialization. So how to do that? We've come up with a conceptual model. So this conceptual model is what is going to champion our efforts over the next several years. At the base of this, what you'll see are the key pillars that will shape our effort of the innovation master plan. One is human capital, and there is a reason why it's number one, starting from policymakers all the way to young kids. Access to finance is a big issue, and we have a plan for it. Access to the market is obvious. There are many ideas that don't necessarily find their way to market. They are not exposed enough. Infrastructure is a big agenda, and I will show you why these are. But in order for us to succeed on level 2, what the foundation is, to address the question of being collaborative. You know, naturally, we get to our own spaces, and that's understandable. But for us to thrive in innovation, collaboration has to be a key thing. Second, we've got to be adaptive to the realities that we deal with. We've got to be able to change as we move on. Experimentation. Now, I have learned that in government, you don't experiment. You do by the book. But for us to thrive, we have to open the space in a way to be experimental. What doesn't work, we drop, but what works, we build on it. And finally, it's about being inclusive. It's a space for everybody, and we need to create the systems to make that work. All the way, President Sir, I am promising that we want to create jobs. To me, that's what we're about. Innovation is not just a fancy thing that you come up and go, oh, yeah, I created some beautiful thing. But if it doesn't impact people, then that's a hobby. It's not really innovation. And we want to create jobs, and we want to impact the economy. All right, so I'll tell you a little bit about each of these pillars. Pillar number 1 is on the human capital. And our goal here is to try and strengthen the relevant innovation skills. And here, I'm just listing a few of the pointers that we have on our agenda. Point number 1 is around mainstream innovation in the policymakers. You know, it's easy to always feel that we are comfortable, and we've done this in the past. But as the innovation space evolves, you've got to change your game. And we have the capacity to do so. And one of the things we are strengthening is building capacity among policymakers to drive innovative policies. Second is the higher education space. We realize how much it takes to build capacity for the future. How innovative pipeline, and like venture-based curricula. So students don't only just produce a thesis, but they build an enterprise. Thirdly is about a presidential innovation fellowship. And here is a model that we've constructed. We're building teams of about 5 to 7 young people, multidisciplinary in nature, and we identify challenges in government, in county government, or in private sector, and these teams solve those challenges. In 1 year, they gather amazing experience. In 1 year, they solve challenges in society, which costs much cheaper than if we were procuring. I'm not trying to kill, but all I am saying is that we can utilize capacity we already have. Then I'll take you to the next bullet. How about access to finance? It's a big deal, but the question is, how do we build the resources that we have to achieve our funding programs? You know, sir, I always observe as a CEO that researchers, once they create innovative ideas, and you will see amazing of them, they struggle with getting the seed funding, or let's call it the de-risking funding, that they are able to validate their ideas to become potentially commercially viable. And we haven't structured an effective pipeline of funding instruments at different levels. So you'll find at a little mature level there are, and then maybe a little bit of private sector there are, and we've got a framework to address that. I will go to the third one, is around access to market. We want to strengthen the competition of innovation and innovative ideas across the globe through innovation trade tours and soft landing programs that enable guys to go to other markets. The second but not last is around an innovation policy, innovation repository system, so that we are able to harvest the potential that there is across the country. We want to strengthen counties, and I'm so glad that we have a governor present. Innovation ecosystem in the counties. One of the agenda programs we have is a center of excellence that specializes on certain areas. Not all counties are going to do everything, but we have to have a level of specialization. And finally is around technology transfer offices. Look, the innovations that we see that come out of young people need a mechanism. And so we have specific targets of how we will drive technology transfer mechanisms in research centers. Today, if I walked into Cambridge, Calro, Ilri, and I've visited a number of them, I see huge potential for commercial value. So then, the last one is around policy. You know, I have been involved in the startup bill for a while, but we don't always succeed, we don't always agree. But my aspiration here is to drive an effort that then will deliver a globally competitive startup bill, and there's a framework for it. About counties, and I strongly believe that we need the National Innovation Framework policy as well as the county, based on what their strengths are, and the National IP policy. And I've attracted the IP team from WIPO to spend their time for a couple of days in Nairobi to support our efforts towards our IP policies. So then, sir, I want to promise minimum 2% of our GDP. I'll take responsibility for it, and my body is present. Second, is we want to create amazing jobs. And thirdly, sir, I observed that we were ranked position number 100 globally on the Innovation Index. And I had a bit of a problem with that. And I really plead that let's take this seriously, because that's a measure of success. And I'm promising within this less than 10 years, we're going to be top 50. So someone asked me, how are you going to fund your effort? How are you going to fund your effort? The same way we started the Innovation Agency 3 years ago with hardly any money, but look at what has happened in 3 years. It's the same game I'm going to play. It's the same game we're going to play, and we will have the resources. We estimate it's going to cost us this much. And sir, I have learned you have used this expression, mambo ni matatu. And this concept of mambo ni matatu is known by Kenyans, and we have a three-pronged strategy that we do. So it's mambo ni matatu. The first one is to have a clear sense of vision, absolutely clear what we want to do. And that was clear to us what we wanted to do. And through the master plan, we have a sense of clarity what we want to do. That's step number one. Step number two is get the right people around you. Coalesce the right people around you. It hasn't been easy, but look, it hasn't costed us much money to organize the Innovation Week. It's through some partners that we've worked, who is a coalition of the willing. In a little while, it's a national movement, and now becoming an international movement. Similarly, we'll rally the right people around our agenda. Government will create an appropriate environment. And I do know I will get the support that I need from government, but I do know there are so many partners here willing to work with us. And the third is to build the structures that will support delivery of the vision. And the Innovation Agency, we've got the framework. Finally, I'll invite you, since this is an Innovation Week, your devices, please. You will download the master plan. And here is the Innovation Agency that I present to you as a vehicle for transformation. After this morning, the head of state will launch the master plan, and it shall be available to all of us. So I hereby conclude by saying thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to an opportunity. God bless you.
Another warm applause for the CEO Kenya. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, at this point, I would like to call upon the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Honorable Ababu Mwamba, to now come and make his remarks. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him. Karibu sana, Bwana Waziri. Welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Richard Scotland, Excellencies, High Commissioners, partners from all across the Commonwealth, my colleagues from the Ministry and government, leaders from our National Assembly and Parliament, and in particular, let me recognize the chair of the National Assembly Committee that oversights our ministry, and all the leaders, including leaders from our counties, and I recognize my brother, the Governor of Makueni, and all of us exhibitors, partners, welcome to the Kenya Innovation Week Commonwealth Edition. We are delighted, absolutely delighted, to welcome the Commonwealth to Nairobi for this incredible platform when we have an opportunity to unleash our thought leadership, our thinking, and our commitment to innovation as a driver of our development. We gather here particularly at a time when Kenya has stood forward to take leadership in a very definite, in a very clear manner, as far as the place of innovation is concerned in development. I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that in the Kenya Innovation Week, we have an opportunity to highlight the achievements of the Kenya National Innovation Agency, a young institution which is making incredible in anchoring our innovation journey. Your Excellency, this is also an opportunity for us to acknowledge your leadership. You have made it clear that the development of this country, the development of Africa, the development of the whole world must be anchored on innovation. From fintech, where M-Pesa continues to be a phenomenon, to green energy, to the incredible commitment to planting 15 billion trees in a record 10 years as part of our agenda for climate adaptation. Your Excellency, you have taken leadership. And today we are proud to celebrate the leadership you are providing, not just for Africa and for the whole world. Hongera, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, today we gather here as the family, our thoughts, our commitments, and our action together. And it is amazing that today we move from theory, from stories. In the build-up to this incredible week, we have had occasion to reset our commitment to commercialization, moving ideas to commercialization, commercialization to job creation. We are happy, Your Excellency, that this vision is finding meaning in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda across various sectors, including in the flagship program our ministry is running, we call Talanta Hela. In Talanta Hela, in the progression of talents in sports and the creatives, we call it monetization. In innovation, we are calling it commercialization. It is really the same thing. And so, Your Excellency, is to innovators across the Commonwealth, and for us here in Kenya, it is an incredible opportunity for our young innovators, Innovation Challenge and Award. It is during this week that we will be announcing the winners of the first ever presidential, it is its end. Your Excellency, welcome, and let me now take this opportunity with the great to address us. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honourable Ministers, distinguished delegates, colleagues and friends from across the Commonwealth. What a joy it is to be back in the wonderful city of Nairobi, which is the dynamic capital of this incredible country. So to say to all of you, Karibu. I want to perhaps use my real name, as you know, is Nazirian, because I am in fact a daughter of the Maasai. So what a privilege it is to stand alongside you at this opening of this inaugural Commonwealth edition of Kenya Innovation Week. Mr. President, your leadership in advancing Kenya's ambitious innovation agenda which is fast turning the wonderful nation into Africa's principal innovation hub, is remarkable. This will be an impact and make an impact in every single sector, not only driving Kenya forward, but placing Kenya at the heart of the efforts to solve some of the world's biggest challenges. Climate change is one example. Kenya is already a world leader in geothermal energy, which now represents 47% of the total production. But green energy now accounts for 96% of the energy in Kenya, second to none, I think, in Africa. And with the powerful initiative to plant 15 billion trees by 2032, including 100 million planted in a single day just 2 weeks ago, it means Kenya's role in climate change mitigation now has the potential to be transformational. These are just two of the reasons why you, Mr. President, have been recognized by the Time magazine as one of the world's 100 most influential leaders shaping global climate action. And I congratulate you, and I pay tribute to Kenya's National Innovation Agency, which under the spirited leadership of Tony Omwanza, forgive me for stumbling over your surname, I just think of you as Tony the Magnificent, is transforming the innovation landscape. This is only the third Kenya Innovation Week, but thanks to your work, it has already become established as a firm fixture in the international calendar. So this is a testament to the creativity, the passion, and expertise which showcased, the commitment to innovation across public, private, research and academic sectors, and above all, the entrepreneurial spirit and talent of Kenya's young people, who are driving this proud nation forward to an ever more hopeful future. And I'm so proud that Kenya and the Commonwealth are working in such close partnership to achieve even more together, Mr. President. Innovation is the of progress, and we are living through a technological revolution which is dizzying in its pace, scale, revolutions of the 19th century, with its implications which are just as profound. More people than ever before. More people rely on digital services than ever before. New technologies such as artificial Internet of Things have become critical to nearly every sector. They are driving profound changes in our daily lives, changing how we consume, produce, and work, how people connect, and how businesses are run. By the end of this decade, they will have completely transformed our societies, our economies, and our public services. And this it is emerging from a fierce cauldron of global economic, environmental, and security crises, which are unprecedented. To harness and master this revolution will determine not only our success in overcoming these crises, but a peaceful, more sustainable, and more prosperous common future. Look at what is happening here in Kenya. Innovation is nothing with data. Incredible advancements in harnessing data and technology to improve healthcare, agriculture, finance, and so much more. The introduction of M-Pesa has revolutionized mobile banking and financial inclusion, not only in Kenya, but in other parts of the world. And Kenya's tech ecosystem is expanding all the time, served well by new hubs and incubators. This is a lesson to everybody about what is possible where government are clear-eyed about what they want to achieve with a strategy to deliver it. And I'm determined that the Commonwealth, under my leadership, and will not only be your greatest supporter, but we will be your accelerator. Just imagine what we could achieve by working together. In the Commonwealth, 55 other independent, sovereign nations across 5 continents in an equal partnership of shared values, shared goals, and shared advantages. With 2.5 billion people, 60% of whom are under the age of 30, the Commonwealth represents 1/3 of humanity. We have a quarter of the world's land and almost 1/3 of the ocean under national jurisdiction. We comprise developed and developing economies, island states and landlocked states, some of the largest populations of any country in the world, and some of the smallest. 5 of the 10 fastest growing cities on the planet, and some of the most remote indigenous communities. And our economic power and potential is rapidly expanding. The combined stock of physical infrastructure, natural capital, and human capital in our Commonwealth now exceeds the value of $150 trillion US dollars. Trade costs between Commonwealth countries are 21% lower on average than trade between non-Commonwealth countries, and intra-Commonwealth investment since I became Secretary General. Our convening power, our expertise, and our capacity to provide assistance to each other and every member state is unique. And working with the mandates of all of our heads of government, combined with my own personal conviction, I am determined that by the time we arrive in Samoa for our heads of government meeting next October, the Commonwealth will be irrefutably established as the world's leading intergovernmental organization in incubating and unleashing innovation. And let me just give you a couple of examples of what is possible. Earlier this year, I was invited to Silicon Valley to be honored with a Global Innovation Award. And during that visit, I met with world-leading tech firms, including NVIDIA, Microsoft, Deloitte, HP, and DeepMind, to name just a few, along with experts from the University of California, Berkeley, to discuss the latest innovations and advancements in artificial intelligence. Their work is breathtaking. It was crystal clear how artificial intelligence could be used to help climate-vulnerable countries anticipate and prepare for the worst effects of climate change, and how it could be used to help farmers across the Commonwealth manage their crops, help healthcare professionals reach more people, or help countries like Kenya with amazing innovators gain more efficient access to international markets. So I invited them to work with us, and together we created the Commonwealth Artificial Intelligence Consortium. And this consortium is unique, bringing world-leading firms together and leading academics, not-for-profits, Commonwealth governments, and international institutions in a partnership for innovation, growth, and sustainable development. And we held the consortium's first meeting in the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York in September. And a robust action plan for our small states has already been agreed. But the plan focuses on 4 critical areas for implementation: research and innovation, policy, capacity building and infrastructure, and youth and gender empowerment as cross-cutting themes. And delivering this plan will help us to close the growing digital divide between developed and developing nations and roll out the benefits of AI across healthcare, education, industry, and government, and build a new framework for the application of AI across the whole Commonwealth within a single year. So let me offer a practical example of the consortium's potential, which I hope, Mr. President, will delight you, because it's absolutely in line with your vision and your delivery. Because earlier I mentioned the fantastic initiative to plant 15 billion trees by 2030, your inspirational idea. Every tree is a money generator due to its carbon storage capacity. But the new technology means it is possible to measure the carbon stored in each tree. And one of our consortium members, Planet Lab, is experimenting with this idea for carbon trading to achieve net zero goals. So it means we will move from guesstimates to accurate estimates, which when you say to others, pay me the money, will now be able to know how much they should pay. So next week at COP28, we will support these efforts by launching a new program for the Commonwealth called Geospatial Expertise Networking and Innovations for United Climate Solutions. And you don't have to remember that, just remember it's called Commonwealth Genius. Because through the Commonwealth Genius program, we will be able to leverage AI and geospatial technologies as implementation instruments to accelerate established Commonwealth initiatives, including the Commonwealth Climate Finance Access Hub, the Commonwealth Blue Charter, the Living Lands Charter, and the Sustainable Energy Transition Agenda, as well as the flagship national policies of Commonwealth member states. So everything you aspire, we are going to accelerate and help you to achieve. So in practice, Mr. President, this means that we will be able to support, measure, and accelerate policies such as your tree planting initiative, multiplying the effects not only in relation to climate change, but in the ability to mobilize significantly more resources for sustainable development. And this is only the beginning, because the beauty of the Commonwealth is that everything we do is scalable, replicable, action-oriented, and rooted in our shared values. And we know that our history, that when Commonwealth leads, the world follows. Our leaders were calling for action on climate change in 1989, before there was even a process for international negotiations. They stood resolute in the face of apartheid. The Commonwealth Charter, which was agreed in 2013, provided the framework for sustainable development goals agreed 2 years later. And in leading on AI and the technological revolution, I hope that Kenya and every member of our family of nations sees the Commonwealth not only as your friend and your ally, but as your partner of choice as you continue to propel yourselves forward, so that we may overcome the challenges we face together. We can grow together and flourish together. As individuals and organizations in this room today, we all have different capabilities and specialisms, but we all have something special to offer. And each of us has the power to change. Kenya Innovation Week is so special because it is a unique opportunity to combine those capabilities and pool that power to reshape not only this magnificent country, Mr. President, but the continent and the Commonwealth and the wider world. And I thank you for your leadership, for your concentration, for your passion and your energy, and may you never sleep. God bless you.
The initiative driven by Kenyan youth and a program in partnership between the Government of Kenya, the Global Center on Adaptation, the University of Nairobi, and the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. So we are progressing this very deliberately. Now, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, join me in putting our hands together to welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, to address us. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. Asante sana. My sister, Patricia Scotland, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, ministers present, governors, members of parliament, innovators, and leaders from different parts of our Commonwealth, good afternoon and welcome to Kenya on behalf of and to Kenya. I have listened to my sister very carefully. She has said that I should not sleep. Many Kenyans think I should slow down and sleep, that I have been on the road too much. But to appreciate everybody who has come to be part of this great success. I am delighted to welcome you all to Kenya and to Kenya Innovation Week Commonwealth Edition, a significant upgrade of our already ambitious annual National Innovation Week. It is an honor for us as a country to host all our friends from all over the Commonwealth and the world over as we congregate around a matter whose relevance and significance for national transformation will never diminish. Your presence here testifies to your commitment to a vision of ambitious expansion of possibilities for productivity, growth, and development driven by new approaches that magnify the value of output from existing factors and interventions. This third Kenya National Innovation Week is a tremendous achievement which exhibits, through many platforms, the ways and speed at which our national innovation policy is succeeding in entrenching a national culture of innovation. It highlights the importance that our society has come to attach to innovation. It also underscores the growth in the government's commitment to the promotion of innovation and demonstrates the interest of stakeholders, many who are here in our country, region, continent, and beyond, in our maturing innovation ecosystem that was ably articulated by Mr. Omwanza. We are well underway in delivering the most ambitious package of strategic interventions and aimed at transforming Kenya's economy into a highly productive, highly inclusive, dynamic, and sustainable system of opportunities in order to feed the nation, keep it healthy, create more jobs, promote entrepreneurship, support creativity and innovation, and thereby increasing employment, creating wealth, reducing poverty, and also reducing inequality. We are committed to deliver all the commitments in this ambitious agenda using existing national resources, which, as everyone knows, are always limited. Innovation is a mindset which facilitates the transformation of limited resources and opportunities into maximum or exponential value, enabling us to push the uttermost reaches of our productive possibilities. In other words, we understand that often failure to optimize existing opportunities can be a result of resource constraints. But it's not just that. It's also due to something much more basic, a failure of imagination, which can limit the possibilities and opportunities that exist. I read somewhere yesterday on my phone, somebody said, people sometimes miss opportunity because sometimes it is dressed in overalls and it looks like work. Embracing a culture of innovation liberates us from such basic limitations and failures. We are determined to implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda in a manner consistent with its ambition by integrating innovation into every dimension of policy, program, and project delivery. The Kenya Innovation Week, therefore, reminds us of our increasing capacity to transform our economy. I remember making this statement last year. And that's why a year ago, I pledged to mobilize government to transform the Kenya Innovation Week into an international festival which attracts global participation. Subsequently, we placed a successful bid to host the Commonwealth edition under the theme of innovating to unblock our common wealth. I am immensely grateful to my sister, Patricia, of the Commonwealth for her considerable support and facilitation in organizing this event. And in you participating in person. We very sincerely appreciate this as a people and as a region. By definition, innovation is transformative. It radically enhances our capacity to solve problems and achieve goals. It empowers entrepreneurship and solidifies the promise of success in tackling climate change, in creating job opportunities, in enhancing efficiency, mobility, food security, education, and even expanding trade. Besides, we are now firmly in the age of artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, nanotechnology, and digital transformation, in which capacity for innovation will continue to separate those destined for success from those who will struggle in futility to stay the same. We all must choose our sides. And it is clear that all of us here, from what I see today, have cast our lot with innovation. Or maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe there are people who are still stuck somewhere. Innovation has been identified in our national economic development blueprint as a cross-cutting element of our economic transformation. Consequently, the Kenya National Vision 2030 mandates our institutions of higher learning to increase the quantity, the quality, and relevance of their research output in order to produce such innovations and creations that will transform Kenya into a knowledge-based economy driven by technology. Our programs to establish and accelerate the commercialization of research has accordingly taken off with the establishment of the network of entrepreneurial institutions of learning, providing a bold signal of our intent in this respect. This initiative shall also be accompanied by endeavors to enhancing inclusivity in innovation by facilitating access to quality infrastructure, financing, and training for youth in both urban and rural Kenya. As you're all aware, we're in the process of changing the law this week in Parliament so that the National Government Constituency Development Fund can now provide resources for the setting up of innovation and ICT hubs in every ward in Kenya. I have had a conversation with the chair of the ICT committee, KJ here. We had a long conversation. In fact, we had a meeting where we undertook and we even designed how these ICT and innovation hubs will look in every ward in Kenya. So when we say we are running with technology, we are not only digitizing government services, and we have 30,000 government services already digitized. By end of next month, we could possibly have every government service on a digital platform that you can access using technology. We're also expanding the use of technology into our education. As I said, ICT hubs will come in handy. We are also expanding the use of technology and innovation into our agriculture. For the first time this year, we delivered fertilizer using a digital platform, and it gave us wonderful results. For the first time, we managed to reduce pilferage, we managed to reduce the effect of brokers and cartels, and as a result, we have an above average harvest in Kenya because we were able to deliver our inputs in a very efficient manner using technology innovated by our own young people in Kenya. As I talk to you here, again, through Kenyan innovation, we have deployed technology across Kenya to gather data on our health requirements. As I talk to you, we have 100,000 gadgets, technology gadgets, with our community health promoters who are busy filling in data on situations of health across Kenya. Again, we are looking at how we can leverage on innovation using technology to deliver on a most fundamental assignment that I have from Kenyans on health. I must admit, the youth continue to sustain innovation in our economy with youth-driven startups securing US$700 million last year. among the highest globally, making Kenya a top African investment hub. The youth are also the overwhelming majority of millions of unemployed Kenyans who are relying on our plan to unlock employment opportunities. As a young nation with a vision of an economically secure posterity, we have no choice except to recognize innovation as a highly promising instrument for unlocking the doors of unprecedented opportunity for the young people of our nation. And it is the reason why our technology arena, our innovation space, is replete with a lot of interventions. Let me also commit here, because it is a matter I spoke to last year about the startup law that is going to assist, de-risk the innovations of many of our young people and graduate them into commercial entities and commercial businesses. That the the stakeholder consultations is actually concluding today, because I have been following it up on a daily basis. The stakeholder consultations is concluding today. We expect to receive the report by Wednesday, and I want to promise this great body of innovators that by March, latest April next year, we will have a firm startup law in Kenya that will assist many of our innovators de-risk their innovations and graduate them into businesses. And going to the role of innovation in economic transformation, it is important to scale up our funding for the commercialization of innovation to reflect our commitment. We are therefore taking measures to enhance the funding of our national innovation agenda from 0.8% of our GDP to 2% of our GDP, as was ably mentioned here earlier. I will give it my very personal attention to make sure that we drive policy and programs to reflect that commitment that we have made. It is also appropriate that today the public sector is demonstrating a high capacity to complement private sector and market-driven initiatives through tomorrow's ministerial roundtable on science, technology, and innovation, and the launch today of the Kenya National Innovation Master Plan, a 10-year program to aggressively promote the achievement of innovation, value creation, and competitive advantage as integral components of our development strategy. I am really looking forward to the launch of the master plan. And not just the launch of the master plan, that we will keep our eyes and focus on making sure that we live up to it. To achieve these objectives, the master plan therefore focuses on policy enhancement, infrastructure upgrades, the enhancement of skills, market growth, and a startup ecosystem, as was ably mentioned here. That when I followed the presentation by Tony Omwanza, when I followed he mentioned 4 critical things: human capital development, access to financing, access to market, and a policy framework that will support that whole ecosystem. I think we are all aligned, and I am happy that the chair of the Committee on ICT is here, and the chair that is responsible for oversighting this whole exercise is also here. These 2 great leaders will work with me and work with the rest of the stakeholders to make sure that this whole exercise is brought together so that we can deliver on it. As pertains policy enhancement, the establishment of the Kenya National Innovation Agency are flagship endeavors to entrench innovation into Kenya's policy landscape. We are very intentional in promoting the innovation mindset, especially in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics from an early age through the competence-based curriculum, all the way to mainstreaming innovation thinking and intellectual property rights at the higher education levels. The objective is to facilitate the rapid development of a sustainable pipeline of globally competitive innovators. And when I talk about the competence-based system, we have now streamlined that whole space. I have committed that we are going to work with members of parliament, especially in deploying additional infrastructure to provide for a proper transition in the competence-based learning program. And members of parliament, I have agreed with the NGCDF board that we are going to make an additional 4 billion shillings available for you to build additional classrooms to make sure that all our children are, have the requisite infrastructure for us to deal especially with the subjects that concern this space, that is science and mathematics, and ensuring that that whole ecosystem is set up in a manner to enhance our output from that space. And as a matter of policy, we are also entrenching a culture of service delivery innovation in public sector in order to improve the uptake of modern tools and approaches, including design thinking, behavioral science, and data-driven strategies to promote excellence and leverage modern tools to promote public sector effectiveness and efficiency. And in that context, by the way, this week, actually, end of this week, at the COP27, we will be putting pen to paper with investors that are going to work with us on data centers that are going to leverage on our green energy resources, not just for use by Kenya, but for use globally, to assemble as much data as is possible. And as government, we are busy assembling our own data so that we can use it to make decisions and to make sure that our decision-making, our programs, our projects are driven by data science, making sure that we are doing the right thing. And to build a globally competitive startup ecosystem, we have resolved to eliminate barriers to innovative entrepreneurship and replace them with clear incentives, simplified processes, and support in order to attract investors and venture capital to our startups and innovators, as well as promote private sector investments in research and development. Kenya is a regional leader in broadband connectivity, which has intensified our geostrategic role as a gateway. ICT contributes 7% of our GDP by way of IT-enabled services. We recognize ICT as a frontier that is yet to yield its full promise. And through the master plan, the digital economy blueprint, and the Kenya National Broadband Strategy, we are scaling up government investment in necessary infrastructure to $132 million for the year 2022-2023. This is the financial year that is going to catalyze the necessary transformation in that space, because we are increasing the resources available around ICT and around technology. We have not walked this road alone. I acknowledge with tremendous appreciation the support of various partners over the years. The Kenya National Innovation Agency is coordinating the establishment of the Kenya Entrepreneurship Program with the aim of mobilizing $3 million to enable startups scale up and attract investors. Local and foreign investors are encouraged to participate in this exciting opportunity. On the other hand, the Green Digital Innovation Hub will be launched tomorrow to advance green and digital transition in agriculture, ICT, and energy. And as a follow-up, again, this weekend at the COP28, Kenya, with other countries, will be launching the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative that is going to mobilize resources for industrialization using green energy. Among the projects we are going to sign at the COP28 is with FFI that is going to use our geothermal resources to manufacture fertilizer for us in Kenya, a $1 billion investment that is going to be made by FFI, a US and Australian-based company. We're also going to be signing off another 5 different programs for unlocking the huge potential we have in the green energy space for industrialization and for driving our economy as we work with other countries across our continent. The center that I have talked about is powered by artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, and is aimed at supporting the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector, the lifeblood of our economy. I thank the GIZ, Digital Transformation Center, for bringing cutting-edge innovation to the Hustler Nation. In partnership with the UK's AI Safety Institute and the US AI Safety Body, we are collaborating in establishing a strong capacity for the Emerging Technologies Institute and Action Lab, which is a multi-stakeholder initiative between the government of Kenya, the private sector, and our innovators to promote governance of the AI space. I also appreciate the work that Huawei Technologies continue to do in building digital skills and promoting innovations throughout the country from the grassroots. I know I was supposed to attend their event sometimes this year. I was not able, but I will make it up next year. Their DigiTrack program is a truly bottom-up intervention to promote the development of sound, innovative capacity through the provision of technology, internet, and mentorship. I express deep gratitude to the and the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, who have complemented our endeavor to strengthen the capacity of our institutions of higher learning in promoting entrepreneurial potential throughout Kenya, and the network of entrepreneurial institutions in Kenya. Our commitment to promote innovation seamlessly integrates the provision of ICT infrastructure, comprehensive education, skills and capacity development, policy and institutional interventions, and the mobilizing of diverse stakeholders in pursuing our ambitious strategy to transform Kenya into a globally competitive, knowledge-based economy driven by innovation. To focus on our discourse, ambitions, and strategies on innovation as a developmental imperative, the government has inaugurated the Presidential Innovation Award, which will recognize the most promising innovations during the Jamhuri Day celebrations this year. This year's edition will be the pilot phase of the award and will consider the submissions from all counties in areas of food security and agriculture, digital transformation, healthcare, entertainment and gaming, climate action, and green energy. I encourage innovators to participate and wish everyone success in their development and pitching. I intend to see some wonderful innovations on Jamhuri Day, and I really look forward to that time. I am told there are very exciting innovations out here. I hope I will spend a few moments to look at some. And as you can see, Kenya has a busy, vibrant innovation scene, which promises great rewards for entrepreneurs and investors with a keen eye for opportunity. There is a Kiswahili saying, mgaga na upwa hali wali mkavu. A person, it means a person who hangs around the beach in low tide will not eat plain rice. They will find something. So if you hang around Kenya long enough and you have a keen eye on opportunity, you will go away with something. I encourage angel investors and venture capital funds to pay very close attention to Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare the Kenya Innovation Week 2023, the Commonwealth edition, officially opened. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
One more round of applause for His Excellency, the President. And I'll request that we kindly take our seats briefly. Your Excellency, we are